presented by Climate Power Education Fund. Does big oil care about our streets flooding or our home burning? Not according to an ExxonMobil top lobbyist.
Did we aggressively fight against some of the science? Yes. We were looking out for our shareholders.
They care about profits, not people. Learn more at polluters.exposed.
Changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your Chicken Soup for the Soul. And today we're looking at the many benefits of volunteering, especially later in life. If you're enjoying your retirement years, or you know someone who's retired but needs a little extra spark in their life, these stories from Chicken Soup for the Soul, Age is Just a Number, will inspire you or anyone to look at volunteering as a means to finding joy. In our first story, Marilyn Ibach tells us that when she retired from her job, she knew she had to do something new. She had heard about a volunteer role as a baby cuddler, and that really appealed to her because she'd always been interested in healthcare, and she'd actually wanted to be a nurse, but it never happened for her. Now she had the opportunity to work in a hospital, helping the most vulnerable patients, the newborn babies in the NICU. Those little babies benefit from being held when their parents can't be there for them. Marilyn's been doing it for 7 years now. She cares for all kinds of babies, the ones that are premature, the ones born with medical conditions, and the ones who need to go through withdrawal from drugs. She recalls when she was brand new that she would rock the babies faster when they cried or sing louder, which just meant the babies would cry louder. Now she's more of a baby whisperer, and she knows how to soothe the babies in a quiet, reassuring way. And she has found new purpose and joy in her volunteer work. She says, I may have lived most of my life, but here I am helping these special babies begin theirs. These little babies are such fighters. Their human spirit, even in its tiniest shapes and forms, has given me new hope and encouragement to keep going through my retirement years. Getting the care you need to stay healthy shouldn't be hard or expensive. Everyone should be able to afford their medications. So my husband's doctor told him about GoodRx, and that has worked for us. With GoodRx, you can instantly compare prices for your prescription at every pharmacy in your neighborhood and save up to 80%. GoodRx is free and easy to use, and many times it is cheaper than using your insurance copay or Medicare. With GoodRx, you can find discounts for your prescriptions at more than 70,000 pharmacies like CVS, Kroger, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Vons, Walmart, and more. GoodRx is the #1 most downloaded medical app, and millions of Americans use GoodRx to get affordable health care every month. Start saving up to 80% on your prescriptions today. Go to goodrx.com/chickensoup. That is goodrx.com/chickensoup. goodrx.com/chickensoup. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance. In 2020, GoodRx users received an average savings of over 70% of retail prices. Alice Cleese is another one of our writers who found joy in volunteer work with children. She had just turned 65 when she realized that she needed to find a new purpose in life. And then one Sunday, the youth pastor at her church suggested she work with the youth department there. They needed volunteers to mentor high school kids. Well, she was surprised because she thought that the kids' parents would do that, but the pastor explained that the parents didn't always have time. And anyway, he wanted some older volunteers to mentor these kids, more like grandparent age. Alice suggested to her husband that they do it together. She said it could be fun and it would keep them young. He reluctantly agreed, and thus began a new phase in their lives. Alice says, little did I know how much this generation gap, this look at the life of teens today would change me. When I took on the challenge of mentoring teenagers, some of whom lived in difficult home situations, I never expected I'd learn something from them. I didn't expect to feel joy and excitement while I watched them walk across a graduation stage. I didn't believe I could stay up on New Year's Eve until 2 a.m. and rejoice to teen exuberance. Alice watched teens learn to care about the homeless, the needy, and the blind, and she saw how willingly they gave of their time. They just needed to be shown how to do it. When the youth pastor asked Alice to be a leader at the annual summer camp trip, she jumped at the chance. By this time, she felt fully accepted as the oldest youth leader. She started laughing, though, as she looked at what she was packing: her blood pressure medicine, Tylenol, and her extra long, very unfashionable Bermuda shorts. Alice felt her age as soon as she got on the bus to go to camp. Her hip was acting up as she walked up those tall steps, and one of the boys said, "Here, Mrs. K, let me help you. I saved a seat for you in the front. It will be easier for you to get out." Well, despite her already aching body and the physical requirements of camp, Alice had a great time, and she did rediscover her youth. She signed up for ziplining, but as a chaperone, not a participant. But sure enough, she ended up being talked into trying it, even after she told one of the kids, "I'm certain God doesn't want me to zipline." Before she could even get to the ziplining platform, Alice had to climb a 35-foot ladder, and that required a bunch of the teenage boys to pull her up to the platform at the end of that scary climb. And then, before Alice could put her foot down and say she was definitely not going to zipline, she was flying through the air screaming. But then she looked down and realized how peaceful it was. The kids cheered for her when she successfully landed at the other end. Alice says, "I volunteered to be a light in the lives of a teen youth group, but the truth is, I walked away 7 years later with the best deal from the relationship. Volunteering brought new meaning to this old gal." There's a great quote from Audrey Hepburn on this topic. She said, "As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others." I'm Amy Newmark. Thanks for listening to these stories about how volunteering can add so much to your life, including new energy and excitement. If you'd like to learn more about Chicken Soup for the Soul, age is just a number, just go to our website, chickensoup.com, and click on the podcast button. And if you have your own personal inspirational tale to share with our readers, we'd love to consider your story or poem for one of our future books. When you go to chickensoup.com, you'll see that you can click on a Submit Your Story section. And there we show you the topics we're working on for future books, and we have some very helpful writing guidelines for you too. We're always looking for new storytellers to join the Chicken Soup for the Soul family, and every submission is read by our editors. Come back for our next episode for a couple of really cool, miraculous love stories. You'll be amazed by how two couples found each other through coincidences that were so close to not happening.